Hello, middle school sax players. So what we are doing today is talking about our new piece, practice techniques, and how exactly this is going to work for the next month. We've talked about practice techniques in the past in class, and I have told you it's a little bit like if you were in PE and somebody just told you to go get strong, and Mr. Williamson and Mr. Dean didn't give you any exercises to help you become a better athlete. You can't just tell someone to go get good. So we are going to work a little bit on showing you how to get good, specifically on your instrument. And this gives me the luxury, it's time consuming, but it is a luxury, to work individually with every single instrument so that I don't have to be talking about trombone techniques when I'm talking to the sax players and vice versa. I can talk specifically about saxophone mechanics and what you need to do to become a better sax player. Now, the first thing you're going to do is tune. Now, you can get a tuner app on any device, iPhone, Android. You can Google tuners. I have one built into my app, Fourscore. You do not need to get Fourscore. It is not a cheap app. It's mostly for sheet music, but it does have a tuner built in. So you're going to just play your concert, your G, which is your concert, E flat, and you are going to make sure that it sounds like it should. Almost perfect. If the hand goes left, it's flat. If the hand goes right, it's sharp. Adjust your mouthpiece accordingly. Push it in, pull it out. I did just tune for 5th grade, so it's not a surprise that I'm in tune now. I wasn't when I tuned for them. So if you don't have a tuner that is a variable tuner, you are going to just have a tuner in concert pitch. And it's important to know that you are not a concert pitch instrument. So when you play a G on a concert pitch tuner, show a B flat. And that's because your G is a B flat for everyone else, right? So that's okay. Just know that when you play a G, it's going to show a B flat. Make sure it is in tune, no matter what the note is. So, second of all, you are going to pull up the metronome. We are going to work on long tones today. Long tones are incredibly, incredibly important to pitch. As a sax player, you are going to carry a lot of solos in these pieces, and you need your tone to be buttery smooth. So when we do this, we are going to play our major scale G to G all the way from bottom to top. You are going to hold each note for 8 beats at 80 beats per minute. You can download a metronome app. You can go just Google the word metronome and it will come up. Set it to 80 beats per minute. We are going to play 8 beats of G, rest for 8 beats. 8 beats of A, rest for 8 beats. All the way up to G. In your own practice, I would like you to do it all the way up and all the way down, even a few times. This is something that professional musicians still do every practice. I put at least 10 minutes of my practice into long tones every time I sit down. If I'm practicing for 45 minutes, 10 to 15 of it is just long tones. It's building muscles, it's building good habits. Because when we play a note, and it's a held sustained note, we want it to be smooth. We want it to start and end in the same place and be sustained comfortably in the middle. We do not want it to sound like, right? You don't want to get on a plane that moves like that. You don't want the note to be turbulent. You don't want your plane to have turbulence. You are trying to play a soft, smooth note with a good takeoff, great airtime, and good landing. When we do this, it's gonna take some time for it to be comfortable. But all notes should have the same tone, even when you're changing up past the register key at D. So I will play the first couple, and then you will join me. Just pause the video when you get the hang of it, come back and join me at the beginning, starting on G. 8 on, 8 off. 1, 2, ready. middle finger. G. That's it. So mine was far from perfect as well. This is an instrument that I'm not as comfortable on, but doing long tone practice really helps me even out my tone in doing that. So spend the first couple minutes, well, 10-ish minutes of your practice just working that scale up and down. Do not try to do it quickly, because this doesn't teach you how to sustain notes. Playing bebop lines is not going to help you do everything. So, once you are done with that, flip over to the PDF that I sent you of the piece we are playing. Do not flip to percussion 4's part. We are going to find where you are. There we go. There is first and second alto saxophone. For all intents and purposes, they are the same other than measure 11 to 19 right now. So if you are playing second alto sax, I will let you know. Otherwise, play first. It is not harder than second, it is just slightly different. But right now, I would like all saxophone players to play first. So, the homework today is to go from measure 3 to measure 33. Starts out at an A, which we know is your first and second finger. One thing that I should point out before we begin this, a few things actually, is that we do not have an F sharp in the key signature, which is what you're used to. That means that all Fs are natural. You are used to F sharp being your middle finger in your right hand and your 3 fingers in your left hand. Right? Even the octave up. You are just going to take that middle finger off and only use your first finger in your right hand. Right? All of the Fs you see in this piece will be F naturals. They will be here. There's a low one right there. Cool? So, I'm going to start at measure 3. And immediately, I'm going to tell you that it is piano. You are not the most important thing that's happening at this time. It's quite a docile section. So try to control your volume and your tone while you do this. And this line is a phrase marking. It means that you should connect all of those notes. It should not sound like. You want to make it sound as smooth as possible. That does mean tonguing between notes. It's not all just one blob of sound. Tongue between notes, but make them very light and delicate tongues. So, are we ready to go? Starting at measure 3, watch me the first time, rewind me, join me the second time. About 80 beats per minute. 1, 2, ready. 2, 3, 4, 3. Right? So, apologies for my tone today. I've been playing every instrument today, and so my chops are a little worn. It'll sound better when we do it with the recording. But that is more or less it. One thing, 100%. I will let that thing talk first. When you play passages going from B to C and back, this is one trick that I'll teach you right now. You know your B is your first finger, and your C is your middle finger. But switching between those two fast is quite hard. See how it gets a little bit muddy? One trick you can use is there's an alternate fingering that can make it a lot easier, especially when you're slurring it like at measure 8, right? Listen. It's a lot smoother then. That is, keep your finger down on B, and then on your right hand, this middle button here with the side of your hand press. So it looks like the other ones around it do not do anything for that note, but the middle one is your C. So that's one alternate fingering you can use that will make it a little bit smoother. And every little bit of smooth you can get is good. Now, I am going to play it with the recording. I would like you to do the same. For your assignment this week, you can either record it with a metronome at 80 or record it with the recording off Spotify or YouTube. But I do need it to be recorded with something. Okay? We get 2 measures of rest at the beginning. That's where the piece goes on to the Allegro section. We will work on that later. But your homework this week is those first 33 measures. Work on your long tone warm-ups. This melody is incredibly legato and connected and smooth, so helping with your long tones will help you get a consistent tone out of that with good articulation. Focus on pitch, rhythm, articulation, and tone. Those are the most important things for this week. I'll be on GChat, Hangouts. If you have any questions, email me as well. I'll be happy to help. And I would need this to me Monday by the end of the day. I will see you on Wednesday during our regular Zoom time. Talk to you later.